Well, folks, after a lengthy battle, George Santos was finally forced to allow the court to release the names of the individuals who posted his bail, his $500,000 bond, so that he didn't have to sit in prison until his trial. Now, Santos, through his lawyer, had previously said, well, the lawyer said, quote, "My client would rather surrender to pretrial detainment than subject these suretors to what will inevitably come. Given the political temperature in this country and acts of political violence that occur, the privacy interests of these suretors are far more concerning, especially considering their ages and respective employment." So we were led to believe, like, obviously, these are some super secret people that nobody would suspect. This whole thing would be damaging to George Santos, and he'd rather sit in jail than tell us who these people are. Well, now we know who they are. Get this. It was his dad and his aunt. That's it. It's his dad and his aunt. George Santos is a drama queen. George Santos just wanted the attention. He wanted to make it seem like a big deal when all he had to do back then was just be like, it was my dad and my aunt. Back off. That would have been the end of it, by the way. That would have been the end of it. And in fact, the judge probably wouldn't have even released the names of those people had you just agreed to say, listen, can we just say it's my dad and my aunt without giving their actual names? Which, by the way, people could find online easily. But he is the one who made this into a big deal. He is the one who acted like he had something to hide when, again, all he had to do from day one is be, it was my dad. It was my family. Like, what do y'all care? It was my family that bailed me out of jail. They didn't want to see me in jail. Like, that's it. Here's the thing that drives me crazier. Well, it all drives me crazy, but I've seen people, ever since the names were released on Twitter, kind of pushing conspiracy theories, I guess you'll call them, about there's no way, George Santos's father and his aunt, given their jobs, they didn't have $500 to pay his bond. And to the people saying that, let me first of all congratulate you on clearly never having to bail anyone out of jail. Not a pleasant experience, but because the bond was $500,000 doesn't mean they paid $500,000. And that's what the folks on Twitter don't understand. Like, listen, everybody, I don't know if y'all know this. Again, if you've never bailed anybody out, I'll forgive you for not knowing it. You don't pay that bond. Like, what? You pay the bond. You don't pay the amount that it's set for. You pay a percentage of it. Then, if the person doesn't show up in court, you're then liable for the entire amount. That's what that is. Like, that's actually what bounty hunters do, is they go around and they find people who skip bond. This is so ridiculous. How are there so many people in this country who don't know how bond works? Again, kudos to you if you've never had to pay it. But those of us that have understand, like, they didn't pay $500,000. At most, they may have paid about $50,000, which, if you combine the two, especially if George Santos's dad had been given any money by Santos, because Santos allegedly has so much, then that would explain it. Like, there's no grand mystery here. There's no grand conspiracy. They have to answer questions about where they got the money, all of that. Like, they show up in court, which they did. They have to answer these questions. There's no grand conspiracy, folks. It's just George Santos wanting the drama, wanting the attention, and wanting to create this mystery, like, oh, I'm not going to tell you. And then it's like, oh, it's his dad and his aunt. It's the dumbest thing ever. And that really says a lot, especially when dealing with a guy like Santos. Thanks for watching, everyone, and well, here comes the awkward part at the end of the video where I ask you to like, comment, and share, and subscribe for more content from Ring of Fire. Also, you should consider becoming a member for some exclusive content and perks, including early access videos and exclusive videos. Check out the link in the description.